Hello guys, sorry if I wasn't able to upload for a very long time here in Blox Foods, but today we're going to be talking about the best stat build in update 17.3 of Blox Foods. So yeah, I have been thinking of making this video for a long time now, and since update 17.3 has pretty much peaked and we are not able to find anything else as of now, that means no race B4 as of now, we can't figure it out. I decided that we should talk about the best stat build for update 17.3. So yeah, let's talk about the best stat build for update 17.3. So if you're a player with very overpowered foods such as leopard, I would suggest the best build for you is probably a food build. Now the reason why I recommend using food build if you have a fruit like leopard or dragon is because these fruits are generally very overpowered and very spammable. So these fruits are very more effective and can be used at its fullest potential if you have most of your stats in fruit, most of your stats in energy, as you guys can see right here. Leopard is a very overpowered fruit that you can spam. So if you're using something like leopard or dragon, I recommend that the best build for you is a build that focuses a lot on fruits. So yeah, if you have a very overpowered fruit like dragon, leopard, venom, the best build for you would be a build like this one. And for example, this is my setup. I'm gonna show you guys my setup. So we're gonna go reset our stat points here because we want to show you guys the hybrid build that I'm rocking. So this is the hybrid build that I'm rocking with Doe. Alright, so let's get our stats reset by Blockster, and yeah, 2,500, very cheap. So after that, alright, so this is my stat build right here. So 7,197 if you're a max. So what you're gonna do is, it's very important that you have max strength. So put 3,999 into your defense. Very important that you have max defense, and then you should go for something like this. I found that max sword is also useful, but you could do it something like, with something like this. You could do with something like this. Wait. You could basically put 1,000 into melee swords and Blox fruits, and then you notice that you still have 5,100 energy. And then what you're gonna do now is you're gonna put way more. You're gonna put you're gonna divide these 500 into each, and then you still have 798. Now whichever has higher mastery, I would say that you put more into your Blox fruits, or whichever has higher mastery. In this case, really in my setup, I just put more into swords because there's less moves, meaning I need to do more damage. So I will put in 400 in sword and 298 in Blox fruits. And at this build right here, it's still very overpowered. You have lots of health, you have lots of damage, and Doe is still very overpowered. And so that, in my opinion, is very good, especially because X is very easy to land. This move right here is very easy to land. If you have something like Yoru, you could definitely follow up. You know, you guys can see that damage over there, and you could still do a lot of damage with the Z move and stuff like that. And even the first move, you could still do lots of damage with it, as you guys can see right there. And you could even extend with that, as you guys can see right there. You see how much damage it's doing? And by the way, my Yoru is upgraded, but yeah, that's besides the point. You still do crazy amount of damage with this one. Now gun, you could also do a gun build, but I would not recommend the gun build right now because there's just lots of better options with swords. Now you could also use Cursed Dual Katana, watch this. But I don't use the Cursed Dual Katana with Doe because in my opinion, you could easily use in my opinion, it's better to use something like Yoru because it's much faster. This is my combo with Yoru. I already showed you guys my combo with Yoru, right? But if you have Yoru, use this combo right here. So you could do that, and then you could do that. Oh, that one didn't land. Wait. Alright, let's do it one more time. So press X, make sure that you have a distance with them or at them, and then you could see the damage there. And then you could use your melee move. So it's pretty good, and you could also use your Zay. As you guys can see, it does a lot of damage. So this is my opinion is the best hybrid build that you could possibly pull out right now. You still do crazy amounts of damage with the fruit. You do crazy amount of damage with the sword. So it's a very balanced build. And if you have something like Cyborg, you're not gonna have a problem with energy. So yeah, I recommend this build if you have Cyborg or if you have Yoru and if you have Awakened Doe, because this build is very good if you have Awakened Doe. Now let's talk about the other builds. Let's talk about the other fruits. Now, the other common fruits that people use are Soul, Shadow. Now, if you're gonna use something like Shadow to combo with, I recommend you just use Sword build. Though is very good for hybrid build because Though has crazy amounts of damage. Though has very easy to land moves. And if you combine it with other stuff, swords like Yoru, it's gonna do crazy amounts of damage. And Gravity, I don't just go Fruit build or just don't use Gravity. Rumble is good for hybrid as well, but I recommend Sword build. But yeah, for stuff like Dark, just go for a Sword build with Dark, man. Yeah, don't use hybrid with Dark. In my opinion, it's just not gonna work out. In my opinion, it's best to use hybrid if you're using something like Though, because the damage of Though is busted and it's very easy to land. And if you combine it with a sword, it's super overpowered. So in my opinion, that's the best build. If you have something like Cyborg, Awakened Though, and Yoru, or even CDK, the best build would be something like this, or this is the best hybrid build. But if you have something like a Leopard Fruit or Venom or Dragon, just don't even bother going hybrid. Just go all in on damage because they're busted. So yeah, without further ado, if you guys want to see me bounty hunt with this build, I can do that. But for now, this is the best build on Blox. Thank you guys for watching. Peace out and see you guys in the next one. Peace.